Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great time. So today I'm going to show you how to connect MySQL database to Apache Superset. In this video, I will show you how to first of all run a simple instance of MySQL. Then we'll install the drivers of MySQL into Apache Superset Docker. Once that is done, we will also connect this MySQL to Superset directly, and finally we will create a simple chart to demonstrate that this connection is working properly. So let's get started. The first thing we have to do here is to install MySQL. So I'll need to run MySQL in a Docker container on my local machine. You can, if you have a remote server that already have MySQL running, then you don't need to do this step. I'm doing this because I don't have SQL running at the moment. So in order to do that, I will just do first docker pull MySQL. This is to pull the most recent version. Great. So once this is pulled, then I'll just run this command here I have in my clipboard. So this command will run the MySQL container and it will set the default password to super secret password. Again, this is a local environment, so you don't have to replicate this kind of password on production. Make sure you have a super secure password on production. This is just for demo purpose. So I'll run this, and now if I do docker ps, you can see we have MySQL running and it is exposed on port 3302. Also, one thing to note is that here you always have to make sure you expose the container port to the local host, which is your machine, because without doing that, Superset will not be able to connect to this port. So next, given that this is done, now we will go to Docker, to the Superset Docker code base. If you haven't run it the first time, you can follow my previous video about how to set up Superset with Docker Compose. So next, like I mentioned, what we have to do here is to ensure that MySQL driver is installed in the Docker container. Okay, and in order to do this, we have to add the MySQL client in the Docker folder. So that means we will have to first of all create a file, a requirements file, which will be used by the Superset setup to install the MySQL client. So we can just go here and say requirements -local 60, and in this requirements local 65 we just put MySQL client. Yes, MySQL client. Great. So once this is done, you can just run the Docker container by doing docker compose, specify the file, which is, we are using the image tag file like I previously mentioned. So docker compose -f, docker compose image tag.yml, up and run it as a daemon. So you see init will take some time to run because it is installing the MySQL client. Okay, now that the init is done, you can check again to confirm our applications are running properly, and you can see here Superset is running. So next thing we are going to do now is to go to our browser and access Superset directly. So we have Superset running. I'll enter my password. Great. So now Superset is running. The next thing we are going to do is to actually connect the database, the MySQL database, given that we have already set up the drivers. You can see here by default I have my meta database, which is PostgreSQL. So I will go to database, click on MySQL. First thing here, we will use host. For me, I'm using a MacBook or a Mac OS, so this will work for me. For some other OS like Unix or Ubuntu OS, you can use the host IP address, but for Windows and Mac OS, host.docker.internal will work. Now we will specify the port here. Yeah, I think I forgot one step. And first, we need to make sure we have the database which we want to load our data. That means, for example, if you have an existing MySQL database and you know the specific database through which you want to connect Superset to, you can specify the database here. But given that mine was a fresh Docker setup, I didn't create the database, so I can immediately create that by going back here into the terminal and just running this command with the default MySQL user, which is root, and you remember the password I set, super secret password, which is not really secret. Okay, now I think this created my analytic database. Okay, so once this is done, we can go back to here and I'll specify the database as analytics. Then the username here is the default MySQL username. Again, on production environment, you will not use the default root username. You should create a dedicated username or a dedicated user for Superset to ensure you are not going to mistakenly leak any data. Then my password, Superset create password. Yeah, so here you can add some other additional parameters which we will not need, and currently I'm not using SSL. There's another option which is to use the SQLAlchemy connection string, and I'll show you this by the end. So once this is done, you can just click on this. Yeah, I think my password is incorrect. It's super secret password. Okay, let's retry. Great. So now you can see if I click on finish, we have my SQL database connected. And to test this, first of all, I need to enable file upload. So I have a CSV file which I will use to upload some sample data. So currently by default, this file upload option is not enabled. So I need to enable it by going back to Edit, Advanced, Security, and Allow File Uploads. Click on Finish. Now I'll be able to upload CSV or Excel files to my SQL database. So next I'll just go to Upload CSV. I'll select a CSV file. Okay, now I'll select the MySQL database, and this is the schema which I want to use. For the table, let's call this, how can we call this table? Let's say analytics. Yeah, let's just call it analytics. And yeah, we can upload. So now our data is imported. Let's go to SQL Lab. Here I'll select MySQL, select the schema, analytics. analytics table. So you can see we have our data imported correctly to MySQL table. So I will just do a simple select star from analytics, and then I run this. You can see the data here, and now we'll create a simple chart. Let's create a new chart. I will create a multi-line chart or a mixed chart. Okay, so the x-axis here can be the date. Let's put date. First query, what metric do we want? Let's say click impression, average click impressions. Then query B, click impression, average. No, let's click impression versus revenue. Yeah. So we want to see the revenue based on the click impression. So yeah, you can see it's not the most beautiful chart, but yeah, we got it working. So you see here average clicks and average revenue. Okay, let me just click versus revenue, and I'll save this. The dataset name, we can call it analytics or marketing data. Let's call this marketing dashboard. Next, save, and we go. So yeah, we have our dashboard with a single chart created, which connects to our MySQL data source. So yeah, that's it. So generally, another point I would like to mention again is that you have the possibility to use the SQLAlchemy URI. So you can do this by, if we go back, let's select again MySQL. You see there is an option here, connect this database with SQLAlchemy URI string. So you can just click here and you provide the SQLAlchemy or SQLAlchemy URI. And the URI generally is in the form, for example, based on the client or based on the driver that you have installed. So you have to put the dialect. The dialect here is MySQL, and the driver will be MySQLClient plus the port name. So we can do something like MySQL plus MySQLClient db. Then we're given the username, which is root, colon the password, which is super secret password. The host here at host, which is host.internal. Yeah, host.internal, whatever the host name. Okay, then you pass in the port 06, and finally the database name, for example the analytics database. So once this is done, you can test the connection here. So mine isn't working, probably because my host name was incorrect. Let me verify this here. Yes, host.docker.internal. So if we come back, do the same thing, connect with SQLAlchemy string, host dot docker dot internal test again. Sorry, here is my SQL DB. Great, so you can see it's saying connection looks good. So this is another way we can use to connect your MySQL database. So generally you can use this form if you already have the connection string from a different application that uses SQLAlchemy. You just copy that and you paste here and everything will be working. So I can still call this MySQL SQLAlchemy. Okay, test again, then connect. So you see we have another instance. I mean, it's the same database, but we just connected it in a different way. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for following along, and I hope to catch you on another one. Bye.